Today we're going to discuss fire extinguishers and several features about the fire extinguisher. Primarily, we're going to discuss the fire extinguisher rating, mounting and placement, as well as use. Fire extinguishers can be found in our workplaces. We may have them in our residences, potentially in our vehicles as well. The fire extinguisher rating system breaks down different types of extinguishers based on different types of materials that may be burning or we may encounter that are on fire in the event of a fire event or emergency. Commonplace materials, such as common combustibles, wood, paper, cloth, trash, and other ordinary materials, are classified as A-type materials. Flammable liquids, such as gasoline, oil, paint, and other flammable liquids, are classified as B materials. Class C materials consist of live electrical equipment, which is fires involving electrical equipment such as appliances, wiring, circuit breakers, and outlets. It's important to note that Class C fires are simply Class A fires with live electrical involved. Class D combustible metals are particular combustible metals and alloys that are on fire. And Class K are cooking media such as vegetable oil, animal oils, and fats. The focus of this video is going to be on our most commonplace extinguisher we have, which is an ABC extinguisher. The extinguisher you see in front of me is labeled ABC. This is a common residential automobile extinguisher you may find. This extinguisher is smaller, it's compact, but it puts out a lot of fire if applied appropriately. Looking at the extinguisher, looking at different types of extinguishers, you may notice how they're mounted or placed within a building. This type of extinguisher is mounted by a collar around the neck, which is then hung in a bracket securing around the center mass of the cylinder. Other extinguishers may be located close to the points of exit or points of potential combustible items or flammable items. They'll be mounted in a case or bracket on the wall, should be mounted at a height which is accessible to almost everybody, and will minimize or prevent injury to the occupant who's using the extinguisher. This will also prevent the extinguisher from being in the way of handicap accessibility, as well as bracketed or secured so the extinguisher is not bumped or knocked off the wall. Primarily, the main focus of this video is operation. As you can see on this extinguisher, there's a generic operation that's listed here, and that works, but we're going to discuss an even simpler one that's common in the fire service and public education, which is the pass method. Several important things to note about a fire extinguisher and using one in the event of a fire prior to the pass method are never turning your back on the fire, evacuating if necessary. Not all fires are we going to be able to extinguish, and not staying and fighting the fire. The goal of the extinguisher is to stop fires in the early stages or be able to evacuate safely from the structure or provide a pathway of safe evacuation from that structure. If we're choosing to grab an extinguisher to attempt extinguishment of a fire, the pass method can be used. First off is pulling the pin. All extinguishers should come with a pin secured there with a small plastic strap that can be easily broken with a small tug of the hand. This allows compression of the handle and the agent to be expelled. We pull the pin first. Secondly, we want to aim with the nozzle of the extinguisher, aim at the base of the fire. It may be optimal to take a quick test spray just offset of the fire to make sure the extinguisher does work before we approach that fire. We want to then aim the nozzle at the base of the fire. We want to then squeeze the handle. This needs to be a nice, firm, controlled grip. Squeeze the handle, and we should see the agent begin to expel. It's important to understand that this may cause a slight flare-up in the fire due to the air movement towards that flame. But do not back off the extinguishing agent, because once it is applied, it should begin extinguishment quickly. And the last portion of the pass is sweep. We want to sweep the base of the fire until we achieve extinguishment, minimize the fire, or provide the pathway needed for the occupants to escape. Remember that extinguishers can be found everywhere. You may see them on those walls, in those mounted brackets, or in those mounting boxes. They should be well labeled. In the event of a fire, we want to grab that extinguisher and begin extinguishment. But remember, it's important to put eyes on an extinguisher in your workplace every once in a while to make sure we have that muscle memory to react in case of emergency.